You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now it's 7 and a historic downtown Fort Scott building is receiving new life. KOAM's Anthony Saviello shares what's in store for the building.
Also, a days-long boil advisory in Galena impacts local businesses and how they operate.
And we've got scattered showers and thunderstorms out there, mainly into southeastern Kansas right now. We'll have a look at those storms and the forecast to get you out the door coming up.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner just after 7 o'clock on this Thursday morning. I'm going to try and see if that's a little better.
That a little better for you?
A little bit. So we have a light here that it's been out for a while.
Yeah.
And they've replaced it, and I'm so not used to it that it is like having the
You are
sun,
quite bright.
like right there. It's
Yeah,
almost
it's a little
need
uneven now.
some shades for wow. I don't remember that light being that bright, but boy, you need a tan. Just flip that thing on and lay out here on the couch, and do it in climate control.
There you go.
Well, speaking of tans, not many opportunities to get one today with some cloud cover, but a great opportunity to do some indoor work.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the couple is restoring a historic building in Fort Scott.
KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more on what they plan to do with it once it's complete.
It had a fire which destroyed a lot of it, but not all of it, and then they had another one shortly after that, and it totally destroyed the whole inside of the building.
What is now just an empty shell of a building could soon turn into this.
We want to get along and we want to give to this community, and basically that's kind of what we're doing.
Luana and Al Neese are taking advantage of what is known as the Schultz Payne building in Fort Scott and are hoping to give it new life.
I think this building would have been demoed because nobody would have tackled this. There's just no way you could have done it any much less than what we're doing it for.
At one point, the building was falling apart at the seams, but now the seams are shored up and the building is ready for its makeover.
Obviously we couldn't save the other stuff, but we can save this. We can save the shell, and hopefully this building will stand for another 100, 200 years.
Despite complications that come with restoring such an old structure, the excitement is building not only within Al and Luana, but the surrounding community as well.
If this building could talk, I can't imagine what we would learn. Because you learn so much just by opening them up and looking.
Reporting in Fort Scott, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
There's no official day when restoration will be complete. However, Luana says they hope to have the building restored by spring of next year.
That's always a big challenge to restore some of those older buildings, especially when they sit so long,
Yes.
vacant for so long. But it's always exciting to see what they're able to do to bring them back to life and give them a new purpose.
Absolutely. Great opportunity for Fort Scott.
Certainly is. And speaking of opportunities for Fort Scott, you're about to have the opportunity for some rain. Take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We've got thunderstorms across southeastern Kansas. Again, nothing severe out there. But as we were discussing in the KOAM morning show, the computers, which you can love them or hate them, all said that this should be gone in about an hour and that it should be in a dying state right now. But looking at some other information from some other meteorologists in the area and just watching the radar trends, the computers this time are way off. It's not dying out in the way it expected it to. So we've got showers and thunderstorms across southeastern Kansas, again bringing some much needed rain out there for sure. So Fort Scott, you can probably hear the thunder in the distance, or it's right on your back door. Pittsburgh just to your west and starting to even extend a little further down into parts of Labette and now rolling into Cherokee County. Independence getting in on some thunderstorm activity. Howard, Sedan, you're still in the middle of it. Yates Center, some light rain. Iola, Chanute, some heavier rain on the way again. Coffeyville, it's going to be knocking on your door next. All of it's this big complex of showers and storms out there that continues to push off to the east. Now, In all honesty, though, the environment here to the east is a little bit more stable, and that's why the computers initially thought as they got a little further east they'd start to die, but it looks like they've got just enough of their own energy that they might push a little further into southwest Missouri before they do begin to kind of break up and weaken. We'll have those opportunities again for isolated showers and storms as we head into the afternoon, and then by about 5 o'clock that comes to an end. Quick look at temperatures: 68, Joplin and Pittsburgh, a pretty decent start today. Most of us right near average, mid-upper 60s down into the lower 70s. We go into today, it's going to be hot but seasonably so, upper 80s, low 90s, and again an isolated shower storm possible this afternoon, and we'll start to clear out this evening. We've got more rain on the way and cooler temperatures as well. We'll have a complete look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes. Lisa?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, a fire triggered an alarm and the evacuation of a Missouri Southern dormitory building yesterday afternoon. Firefighters were called to the Quad E building and found smoke coming from a column attached to the structure. Missouri Southern tells us a contractor had cut into an electric line, which sparked the fire inside the column. No one was hurt. MSSU says the incident will have no impact on students returning to campus in the coming days. The city of Joplin wants to give the public a chance to weigh in on some transportation issues. The Joplin Area Transportation Study Organization, or JATSO, will open a 7-day public comment period for the fiscal year 2025 Unified Planning Work Program. The program lists the transportation studies and tasks as well as member agencies to support the metropolitan transportation planning process. The public comment period begins tomorrow at 8 a.m. and concludes on Friday, August 16th at noon. We have a link to the proposed program on our website. That's, of course, KOAMNewsNow.com. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Galena residents and businesses are left struggling to deal with a boil advisory that has been in effect for days. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment has issued the advisory for Galena, citing the city's current inability to maintain acceptable chlorine levels. Officials say that puts the water system at risk for bacterial contamination. KOAM Samantha Walker spoke with local business owners to learn how they're dealing with the situation.
It's definitely an inconvenience, but something that you have to do if you want to be able to open up and provide services for your customers.
A boil advisory in Galena is leaving local businesses scrambling to find ways to stay open. Sweet Creek Bakery and Diner didn't hear about the advisory until they were 10 minutes away from opening this past weekend.
So we had to backtrack. We had already prepared for the day and had tons of stuff set up and ready to go, and we had to throw out all the coffee, 4 gallons of tea, all of the food that we had prepped.
Myers says the diners had to find creative solutions to the boil advisory. She bought bottles of water and soda and gallons of tea to be able to serve customers, since they are unable to use their drink fountain. And the diner, which is known for its coffee, has had to bring in a small coffee pot to replace its coffee machine, taking 20 minutes to brew rather than its normal 3. She said the advisory has impacted her business financially.
We were down like 50% yesterday, and I haven't looked at the numbers yet today, but it's been really slow. We were obviously prepped and ready for a Saturday and weren't able to use any of that product, so that was a waste of product. And then having to go out and actually purchase all those bottles of water and all those products that we weren't included in our budget for this week.
I spoke with one resident who says they drank tap water for a full day of the advisory because they weren't aware it may not be safe. Both residents and local businesses say they wish the advisory had been communicated better.
I think in this day and age, that's kind of an important thing, is just finding ways to utilize the systems that are out there to get the word out, because it is important on something like that.
We did social media. I mean, I know that doesn't hit everybody. It hits a good chunk of people, but not everybody. So we immediately did social media, our city webpage. We have an email blast system that we use, and then we have a sign out front which it does any types of updates and advertisements, and it was on out there.
Myers said she did not receive an email alert about the advisory until the Monday after it was announced. Mayor Grove says the reason it took longer was because the issue was noticed on a weekend when not all state agencies are operating. As a result, they had to wait for testing to come back. Reporting in Galena, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Mayor Grove says they are waiting for the results of one final sample. She hopes the Kansas Department of Health and Environment will be able to lift the advisory sometime today. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, Dustin Luno from the Joplin Fire Department joins us this morning with some tips to help keep your kids safe as they head back to school. We'll be right back, but first, it's National Pickleball Day. Here's a live look from the pickleball courts at Lincoln Park in Pittsburgh. Dustin Luno from the Joplin Fire Department is with us this morning to share how you can keep your kids safe as they return back to school. Welcome to you. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, absolutely. So talk to me a little bit about some back to school driving safety tips.
Yes, so man, the next couple of weeks there's gonna be a lot of transition, right? Our kiddos are going back to school. Some are excited, some not so much.
Yes.
But you know, over the summer, some of those school zones that were previously turned off are now going to be turned back on. It's going to have an impact on our morning commute and our obviously our afternoon commute. So this is just a helpful, friendly reminder to take a few extra minutes, pay attention to those areas, slow down. Our children are the most valuable assets that we have. So let's just take an extra few minutes, slow down, pay attention to the school zones, pay attention to the school buses. If we need to leave a little extra in the morning, just get up a little bit earlier, and we'll all, especially the first couple of weeks of school, it's always a little bit busier the first couple of weeks until we kind of transition into a new routine. So I often tell people that, you know, Joplin Fire, in our response models, we will not pass a school bus that is stopped with a stop sign out. Even running emergency, we will not exceed a speed limit in a school zone. Our children are extremely important to us, and we do not want to risk anything, and we would challenge you to do the same.
Fantastic. And then just with distracted driving too, and just seeing that, and even, you know, in response to accessibility for, you know, emergency vehicles passing by, how important is that?
It's extremely important. Everybody has got a lot of things going on today, a lot of distractions.
Yes.
And, you know, think about our children as well. Our children are walking to school and they have some type of a, you know, a headphone or earpods or something like that going on, and they're not paying attention. So, you know, just pay extra attention for them. So we all get to school and get back home safely.
Absolutely. And then you also have a traditional wet down ceremony going on in a couple of days.
Station 6 on Friday.
Yes, how exciting. So talk to me a little bit about that, and for those who might not know what a wet down ceremony is.
So traditionally in the fire service, when the horse-drawn carriage would come back, back in the 1900s, the community would come together and wash down or wet down the horses and get them all cleaned up and get the carriages all cleaned up, and they would push them back into the station ready for the next call. And so as a tradition, we've implemented that as far as putting our new apparatus in service. And so we have a brand new fire engine coming online. The engine 6 is coming online at Station 6 out on West 32nd Street. And we'd like the community to come out. I believe the invite's going to be on your webpage. So come on out, join us as we celebrate. We're going to wet the truck down. We're going to push the truck back in and prepare it for service for its life as Engine 6.
Absolutely. How exciting. Well, Dustin, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And as he mentioned, we'll of course have all of that information later on this morning on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:18 now on this Thursday morning. We've got showers and thunderstorms overspreading most of southeastern Kansas this morning. Just getting ready to roll in. Got some light showers getting rolling into Pittsburgh. Thunderstorms just immediately west of Fort Scott. And that's all stretching all the way back down into parts of northeastern Oklahoma, back into Washington and Newada counties out there. And we've got, again, this development's tried to take place. It's not been very organized. We'll see what that does. It'll very likely fall apart. But again, again, computer data said all of this was going to fall apart, and that is not what's taking place as we continue to see it all push off to these. So starting out here, Elk, Chautauqua counties, Howard, you're getting out of this, but we'll see if you get any additional rain from what's to your west. Sedan, Cedarvale still in it. Coffeyville getting some rain. Independence, Fredonia, Chanute. Chanute is about your third round of rain out of the different batches of showers and storms that we've had out there. Parsons, you're on getting ready to roll into your second round of rain. So again, Fort Scott, the heavier rain, the thunderstorm activity is right there on the west side of the city. Girard, you're in the middle of it. Pittsburgh, light showers in the city, thunderstorm activity back to your west. Erie, you're in between two different rounds of storms, so you'll get another round here. Mentioned Chanute getting some additional rainfall, Yates Center as well. Iola hanging on to rain, and eventually some of this is developing now into parts of Cherokee County. And see how this is starting to fill in down to the south, and we'll see how this is filling in too. So what we've got here is an interesting setup in the air mass. The further east you get, it's considerably more stable, which is why the computer data was under the firm belief that this activity would begin to die out as it approached the 69 corridor. But it appears, based on some of the new information, there's enough energy here in southeast Kansas that it is continuing to fuel these guys a little longer than what was originally anticipated. Now, again, we're not complaining because it's not severe weather, which is great, but it is some much needed rainfall out there, especially into southeastern Kansas. So, as we end the afternoon, we'll still could see in the wake of these storms some additional isolated to widely scattered showers and storms. And by about 5 o'clock, that opportunity will wrap up and will clear out overnight. And we go into Friday, we've got about a less than 10% chance of maybe an isolated shower or two. The majority of us will be dry and cooler on our Friday. It'll be Saturday that we'll see the next opportunity for some widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. And again, no severe weather expected by early morning. This complex begins to roll into the area and overspreading southeast Kansas and into northeastern Oklahoma. And then we'll have scattered showers and storms through about, say, 3, 4 o'clock on our Saturday before that clears out. And then we see additional opportunities for rain. Joplin, our camera 7 in the range line, seeing those thunderstorm clouds off to the north and west. 68, east breeze at 5. Temperatures this morning, we've got the upper 60s to the low 70s. So again, a reasonably nice start to the day. Average low 69. So can't complain about that. Isolated to scattered thunderstorms through the morning hours, and we'll go low 80s by 11 o'clock. Highs today, seasonably hot, upper 80s, low 90s. Then take a look at tomorrow. Low 80s out there Saturday. Upper 70s for our highs. Rain chances will continue in the next week, but they'll be scattered out there. We'll start to return to normal temperatures Tuesday and Wednesday before we see the heat return by the end of next week. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, if you enjoy German cuisine and helping local charities, then you should head on over to Freistadt, Missouri for the 50th annual Earn to Fest happening this weekend. We have Jerry Sitton, one of the organizers of the festival, with us this morning to share what fun you can have if you attend. Welcome to you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thanks for having us over here, because this is a German area also, and hey, this is the best place to come to get your German on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about getting your German on at this festival.
Well, this is our 50th annual. So the last couple of years we only had it one day because of the football jamborees.
Yes.
And so this year, being the 50th, we want to go all out, say, hey, let's get the German on for good, and let's do it 2 days.
Fantastic. And so this is the 50th celebration. So lots of exciting things happening and lots of tradition. Talk to me about some of the things that people can expect when they come out this weekend.
Well, we want to hear that German music first. And so we have, of course, I have to look sometimes. The Spitzbaum is going to be on.
Oh, how fun.
And they're going to be on both nights.
Okay.
And so if you polka, and we were talking about dancing, so I'll be glad to see you there and see you polka.
You know what? That sounds like a good time to me, Jerry. Now talk to me a little bit about the cost of the event and where do the proceeds go towards?
Well, there's some doggone many places that we do that. Lions Eye Research. Of course, we got 4-H and Red Cross, Loaves and Fishes, Kristen's Fruit Baskets, and all those organizations that we give to. We've given out over $700,000 since we've been doing this, and most of it's local.
Fantastic, fantastic. And it's $10 to attend the event.
$10 to get into the beer garden.
Okay.
And so come in, get your German on.
Yes.
And we got live music, and we got Ty Rothmeyer, Loose Cannons, Spitzbaum, of course, both nights, and then we got members only.
Fantastic. Sounds like a great time. This is going to be on Friday and Saturday. When do all the festivities start and where?
Well, it starts at Frystad at our grounds right there. And coming from Joplin, you take 44 east and so take the Frystad exit and come on in.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Jerry. Sounds like a great time. And if you'd like to learn more, you can call the number that you see there on your screen and stick around. We're back with more right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOA Morning News on Fox 14 at 7:30. I'm Elise Noe. A Miami city councilman announces his resignation. The news came before this week's city council meeting. According to the city of Miami's Facebook page, Justin Pittman resigned from his position as councilman and trustee, citing health reasons for his decision to step down. Pittman's resignation leaves the Ward 4 seat on the Miami City Council vacant for now. The Boys and Girls Club cut the ribbon for their new location in Fairland, Oklahoma. They offer tutoring, after-school care, and other activities for kids ages 6 through 18. This new location was created through a partnership between the club and the Cherokee Nation. The CEO looks forward to bringing their services like childcare to Fairland.
This is rural Oklahoma, and the need for after-school care and summer care is large because many parents are commuting to work into other towns, and so what do their kids do after school? And so we create Boys and Girls Clubs in rural communities in Oklahoma to ensure that kids have a safe place to go after school.
Tribal leaders, city leadership, and donors were in attendance at yesterday's milestone event. The Ottawa County Fair is underway this week with activities for the whole family. Yesterday afternoon, animal shows took place, including dairy cattle and sheep. Then later, the carnival opened up for the first time this week.
My brothers and sisters always showed cattle, so I just wanted to try it out. I just always loved it. Highlights, just really helping out.
The fair runs through Saturday, August 10th. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, if you're in Joplin, skies beginning to darken out there ahead of some showers and thunderstorms off to the west. This is our camera 7th and range line. You can see those dark skies out there and still dark from the MoDOT camera 20th and range line. You can see the winds are also picking up just a bit ahead of these showers and storms across southeastern Kansas. So this initial line is beginning to kind of fall apart a little bit, but it has triggered some little bits of development down on the south side of it. And we've had a little flare up just to the east of this main complex. And then we've got the bigger batch of heavier rain out there across southeastern Kansas. So Pittsburgh, get a heavier shower on your east side, get some heavier storms off to the west, getting ready to roll in. Girard, it'll start to kind of wrap up initially, and then you'll get into the second round. Fort Scott, shower and thunderstorm activity out there. Columbus, Baxter Springs, Riverton, you guys are up next with this batch of showers and storms. It's developing into Cherokee County. And eventually, if this line holds together, it will eventually make it to Miami and the Will Rogers Turnpike. Head a little further to the west. Iola, Yates Center, Fredonia, Chanute, Independence, Sedan, all into a good batch of some much needed rain. And I think the most important part of all of this is the fact that we're not dealing with severe weather. We're just getting some much needed rain as this complex continues to shove off to the east. We'll have the opportunity with the energy left behind for some additional isolated to widely scattered showers and storms between noon and 4. And then after that, skies will begin to clear out as we go into the overnight hours. Quick look at temperatures just across the area. We've got the upper 60s and low 70s, just kind of a spread from northeast to southwest. Our highs today are hot, but seasonably so. Upper 80s, low 90s, and of course, depending on how much rain and cloud cover you get, you may be a little cooler. And again, we'll clear out as we head into the evening hours. Right there, look at your forecast. Talk about some other cool temperatures on the way and more rain chances here in just a few more minutes. Lisa?
See you soon, Chris. The school year is just around the corner for Carthage high schoolers, and the band students are already preparing. But they have to practice with more than just their instruments. They use an app to help coordinate their routines. KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks got an up-close look at the practice.
Okay, so we have for the full band, we have a 2-week band camp. So this is our second week. We have just 3 more days left, today and tomorrow and Friday. But we started last week, and we started with fundamentals. In fundamentals and music camp. So in the morning, we start spending time giving them stretching. We stretch every morning before we start. We start acclimating them to the outdoor weather because it's warmer. And you're there. We spend time in fundamentals teaching them all their different moves from forward march, backward march, slides, and all of that so that they know what to do once we get out here and put the movements to the show. We definitely do not just do a random Sunday stroll. It's a marching technique. We always have to start on the same foot so that we're in uniform. Being in a band, we wear uniforms. We want to be in uniform and be synchronized in the movements that we do. So we teach them how to properly, step off, whether toes up, their heel hits the ground. All those intricate details. That's all happens in our fundamentals. So.
Hold in. Here we go. 16.
You have to think ahead, like 6 to 10 steps. Like you have to think, like, what am I gonna do next? How does it line up with the music? It's just it's kind of a process to where if you're not fully engaged with it, you're not gonna be in time with everyone else. So it's just a mindset. And sometimes you get into tunnel vision where you're just thinking of what you're doing, what's going on. Like nothing's going on around you. It's just you in the field, and that's kind of like it's kind of nostalgic.
This requires a lot of self-discipline. These students have to come out here on very hot days and still work. The turf can be still quite warm. We do watch the weather. We have an app that shows us where we are, and so that we can take the certain number of breaks to make sure that they're staying hydrated and not overheating. We never want that to happen, but it does take a lot of exertion, and so if this is not something that you actually enjoy and are passionate about, then it's not something you're going to enjoy and work hard at and want to be here.
All of the routines will culminate in a 7-minute show just in time for competition season. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A California man is able to meet the people who saved him from a heart attack. But before we head to break, here's a live look from the Lincoln Park pickleball courts in Pittsburgh. In Consumer Watch this morning, higher temperatures are also bringing higher electricity prices for many Americans this summer. An AP and NORC Center for Public Affairs research poll shows nearly 70% of Americans saw an impact on their electricity bill during an extreme heat wave last year. About 7 in 10 Americans say they have been affected in some way by heat waves in the last 5 years, making it one of the most common weather events in the country. Reports of extreme heat effects were most common in the West and South. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is looking into how some major U.S. banks handled customers' funds on the payment app Zelle. This comes after rampant fraud and scams on the payment app grabbed the attention of some U.S. lawmakers. J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo have previously disclosed that the agency has been looking into how customers' disputes via Zelle are handled. The bank argues that covering the cost of scams will only lead to more cases of fraud, which could cost them billions of dollars. Well, Americans are tapping into their home's value at rising rates. New economic data reveals home equity loan debt is piling up. Patrick Cornell talks about the pitfalls and best practices.
For 9 straight quarters, balances on home equity lines of credit rocketing up. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York reporting $4 billion added to that amount last quarter, $40 billion over the last year, totaling $380 billion in outstanding balances. Many Americans have seen serious increases in home value in recent years. On average, U.S. homeowners have more than $200,000 in equity that could be accessed, but prepare to police your spending.
There are no rules about what you do with the money. So when you pull the money out, you can do with it whatever you want. You can go to Vegas, you can go to Disney, or you can hire a contractor to redo your kitchen.
Bankrate's Jeff Ostrowski says there are good reasons to unlock that money, such as renovations to add value to your home or paying down high-interest debt.
Borrow only as much as you need. If the kitchen project is going to be 50 grand, borrow 50 grand.
Be cautious when using that equity for other investments or paying off education loans. With the average rate sitting above 8.5%, there are risks.
It's a little bit risky right now to tap into your home equity for investments. I mean, I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's probably not the wisest move.
One major red flag, Bankrate reports millennials are more willing to tap into their home's value to fund vacations.
If you have to tap home equity to afford the vacation, you can't really afford the vacation. So if find a cheaper vacation to save some money.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Patrick Cornell.
And those are our top consumer stories. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:44 now on this Thursday morning, and we have got thunderstorms across a good portion of southeastern Kansas continuing to roll out. So what we've got is we had a line that was leading this main line. That line's beginning to kind of die out, but it's triggered an outflow boundary that is producing A, gusty winds up ahead of it, upwards of 25 to 35 miles an hour. B, it's causing new development to take place on the leading edge of that outflow boundary. So let's take a look first back into the western portion of our area. Howard, you're in between some additional rain showers out there. You got some heavier thunderstorms to your north. Fredonia, again, same situation. You'll dry out and might get in on more of this rain. Chanute, Erie, you're right in the thick of it. Parsons, this is your second or third round at this point as well. Leading edge of this stretches back down toward Independence, just west of Coffeyville. Coffeyville, you've got your own thunderstorm going on, but then you've got this line that'll be rolling in right behind you. Oswego, you're going to get in next on this activity. Now I want to take us down into parts of northeastern Oklahoma. So the outflow boundary has triggered new thunderstorm development now south of Oswego, southwest of Columbus, and right to the west of Miami. So some rain in Miami, heavier thunderstorm activity, nothing severe. I want to emphasize that. There's nothing severe, nor should there be. Starting to develop back behind that. So Joplin, Galena, Riverton, Baxter Springs, you've got some showers. Joplin, you might get in on some light rain as well. Head up to the north, Pittsburgh. The heavier showers kind of died out right around you. Girard got some good rain, but now the heavier thunderstorms in between Fort Scott and Pittsburgh on 69 getting ready to roll into southwestern Missouri. Girard, you've got another round of rain, and Pittsburgh, if you guys are lucky, you'll get in on some heavier rain as well as this pushes on off to the east. So if you watch the leading edge of this, there's that outflow boundary from here right back through here that's triggering some new shower and thunderstorm development. And again, nothing severe out of any of this activity, but we are getting some much needed rainfall. As we enter the afternoon, we could see some additional isolated to widely scattered showers and storms. Our best chances are, of course, what's happening right now, but an additional shower storm possible into the evening hours. The majority of us will remain dry. Our Friday, we're looking pretty good as well. Temperatures a little bit cooler, and future tracks showing an isolated shower too, but in all honesty, it looks like our chances of rain tomorrow less than 10%. Our next best chance of rain is going to come Saturday morning, so clouds increase, and then by 5-6 a.m. here comes a batch of more showers and thunderstorms. As they move further east and into the afternoon, they'll become a bit more scattered in nature before they kind of start to die out by about 3-4 o'clock, but we will get some additional showers and storms on Saturday. And again, the good news there is we're not anticipating any severe weather from that either. 68 in Joplin, it is cloudy. North breeze out at 12, so that wind has shifted back behind this pressure system. We got upper 60s and low getting close to mid 70s now as you go from northeast to southwest across the area. As we head into the morning, again, some isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms out there, which is what we're seeing now. Low 80s by 11 o'clock. Our highs today, hot but seasonably hot. So we go upper 80s, low 90s. Then we head into Friday. Nice, not bad. Low to mid 80s. Saturday, we've got the storm chances, but that also, look at our temperatures. Average high 91. We're going to be in the upper 70s. We'll maintain below normal on Sunday and Monday. Back to about average Tuesday and Wednesday. Rain chances through Thursday, and the heat returns by the end of next week. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
After a near-fatal heart attack last month, a California man reunites with the Good Samaritans who helped save his life.
Several strangers came together on that day in early July to save the man from that heart attack that is typically almost always fatal. Michael Chen shares their heartwarming reunion.
You're amazing. Hugs and more hugs. After an outcome that defied the odds. Last week, we met Shannon Jones in search of the Good Samaritans who leapt into action in early July.
And his head went back and he started to convulse.
As her husband, Casey, suffered a massive heart attack while sitting on the beach. Strangers joining a lifeguard to keep Casey alive. Casey without a pulse for 45 minutes, stunning doctors who said his condition usually comes with a 95% mortality rate. Weeks later, Casey is out of the hospital.
Always gonna have love for you, bro.
And meeting the strangers who helped him. After our story aired, a viewer contacted us and helped us set up the reunion. Eric Lobdell, the off-duty pool lifeguard,
I think the train just kicked in.
who performed mouth-to-mouth for several minutes before paramedics arrived. Lobdell's girlfriend, who comforted Casey's wife during the ordeal. Daniel Bowman, an off-duty CAL FIRE firefighter who rotated with the lifeguard to do chest compressions, keeping Casey's heart pumping.
It's definitely going to be a highlight of my life.
You saved us, and I can't thank you enough.
I'm very happy for you. Weeks after the day Casey's heart stopped, hearts filled with gratitude.
I'm a lot overwhelmed. I'm not a speaker. More of a hugger, bro.
Yeah.
Certainly an incredible act there. Just amazing to see, really.
Yeah, and an amazing outcome as well.
Certainly.
Well, let's take a look at some of our rain chances we've got. So here's the Skywatch Storm Tracker showing showers and thunderstorms, the bulk of which, of course, still across southeastern Kansas. So Independence, Coffeyville, Parsons, Erie, Chanute, Fredonia, Sedan, Cedarvale, all getting in on thunderstorm activity. And eventually Oswego, it's going to continue to slide off to the east here with this line of storms. And it's going to roll into Girard and eventually into the Pittsburgh area. But that also triggered an outflow boundary, which has set off a few stray showers near the Stockton area. And those extend back into northeastern Oklahoma. And we've got some heavier rain now in between Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, more thunderstorms on the way back off to the west. And then we'll take a look down to the south here where we've had new development take place. So some heavier rain around the Miami area heading Riverton, Baxter Springs, south of Columbus. May eventually make it to Joplin and back through Craig, Nowata, and Washington counties as well. Veneta and Talala reporting near 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts with this outflow boundary. So nothing severe, but getting some gusty winds off the leading edge of these storms as they continue to push off to the east this morning. We'll have one more look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Galena, Kansas residents and businesses are left struggling with an ongoing boil advisory. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment issued the boil advisory, citing concerns about Galena's inability to maintain proper chlorine levels. Galena city officials say they are waiting for the results of one final sample. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment could lift the advisory sometime today. Well, Justin Pittman has announced his resignation from the Miami City Council. The news came before this week's City Council meeting, and according to the City of Miami's Facebook page, Pittman resigned from his position, citing health reasons. Pittman's resignation leaves the Ward 4 seat on the Miami City Council vacant for now. The City of Joplin wants the public to weigh in on some transportation issues. The Joplin Area Transportation Study Organization will open a 7-day public comment period for the fiscal year 2025. Public comment period begins tomorrow at 8 a.m. and concludes on Friday, August 16th at noon.
And we've got some scattered thunderstorms out there this morning, and those will become a bit more isolated as we head into the afternoon, but still a straight chance of a shower or storm this afternoon. Highs hot, but seasonably hot, upper 80s, low 90s. Most of us will be dry as we head into the afternoon as well, by the way. Heading into the evening, skies will begin to clear out, mostly clear overnight tonight. Temperatures back below normal, mid-upper 60s. And we'll be into the low to mid-80s tomorrow. Then more storm chances heading into the weekend. We'll go upper 70s on Saturday, low 80s Sunday, back to normal by Tuesday and Wednesday. More rain chances through next Thursday, and then temperatures getting back into the upper 90s, maybe some lower 100s toward the end of next week.
Alrighty. Well, the Indiana State Fair kicked off this week and will last for around 2 weeks in the state. The giant cheese sculpture was revealed to be art-themed, titled The Art of Fun.
It features Mona Lisa and American cowlick. The sculpture is made from blocks of cheese weighing 1,500 pounds and took the sculptors nearly 300 hours for the whole project. Now, I understand that cheese can actually boost your mood when you eat it. I wonder what would happen to your mood if you consume 1,500 pounds of cheese.
Let's not find out. We don't need that this morning.
We probably did.
We probably don't.
Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.